Hello, it's Jessica again. And Facebook shut down my video on me. So I don't know what's going on. And then I was like having sound issues before and it was sounding really loud. So I started a new video. So I apologize for the trouble, for the difficulties. But I feel like it's just very reflective of, hey, Nicola, thanks for joining. I just feel like the challenges, hey, Chelsea, thanks for joining. It's just very reflective of the sort of like pains, these like kind of that I've been feeling, the difficulties of like having, I hate to say it, like that pushing energy, put like a little bit of this like needing to gently push to birth something that's like painful and difficult that is just sort of like coming through. So just to like quickly go over, if you are joining, the first card that we've got for the group for the overall energy is in Crescent Moon. So it's all about like growing new projects and seeing some yields and some positive returns on those projects. And then we've got the Archangel Raphael, Queen of Roses reverse. So there's some healing going on around family issues and around self-love, a lot of maybe based on past family issues, which is going to help to further romantic goals, to having worked on finishing up some of that healing. So, what wants to come through? What else? Yeah, so we've got here the journey reversed with the willow. So, and then the underside of the deck is commitment. So I really feel like, and this has come up with some of my other readings as well, like that this is like, because that we're doing a lot of stuff around like healing things around family and family relationships, and healing our relationship with ourselves and finding this like consistent, stable sense of harmony. Hey Stephanie, hey Dan, thanks for joining me again. Sorry the video bombed out on me. Like not only creating this sense of like stability and harmony, but like also creating just like higher sort of like 5D perspective and, you know, allowing our emotions to be freely flowing again. And, you know, Willow is also very symbolic of developing psychic abilities as well. So it's like really, really, and like you can see there's like all this luminescence, you know, radiating off of the willow, which is very accurate. So of like stepping into that luminosity of yourself. And that's really gonna like bring in a lot of like positive, loving family connections. So because of that, it's really not the time to be, you know, taking a bigger journey. And like it doesn't mean that you won't necessarily be taking inner journeys that are exciting, but like anything that's gonna be like taking you away from this harmony because it's too busy, it's too chaotic. Dan, this is my favorite tree. Yeah, awesome. I love willows. Anything that's going to take you away from that, that's because of like chaos, that even though it might seem more exciting to your mind or to your personality, it kind of needs just to be like held off a little bit. That's not to say you might not have like really helpful and healing and exciting inner journeys, but and again, that could also be an alternative meaning of the card, is that sometimes those inner journeys are what's going to help you bring in that harmony. And I think that's very, very true based on my own experiences that I've been going through. So, what else here? Like, what do we need to know about where these overall energies are going before we get into some other cards? That's funny. So I think it's just like forcing people to, I think what it's going to do is it's going to open people up to some like more options and opportunity for like a more consciousness expansion rather than like, we'll just say a horizontal, physical, linear movement, which is why we've got this like diversity card where, you know, she's got this whole scene beyond where like there's all this land, beautiful land she could travel to, but she's studying this scroll, she's studying this book, she's expanding her mind, expanding her knowledge. And that's what she's meant to be doing at this time, is expanding her consciousness. And I think there, you know, the reason why not to jump to some sort of bigger, like physical, tangible move is because like there's just too many things that are not fully understood yet in order to make that bigger step. You know, the energy hasn't landed. Everything is actually going up into the air to expand. It's going up into the higher mind, the higher self to expand, into the higher realms of study to expand, the Akashic records potentially for some people in some cases. I've been doing a lot of readings around that. Dan said static. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't have an extra mic in right now. I'd have to go get something else. And oh, you said no more. Okay, good. I find that when I use my laptop, sometimes I have problems with Facebook. But so yeah, that's interesting. You know, that might be a more specific message for some of you, but I also just hearing like kind of like balance. You know, like something about. Like, because in one of these cases, she's inside this house looking out at the landscape, right? But kind of focusing on the book. In this other case, they're on the ground looking up at this balloon, right? So it kind of brings me back to this whole multidimensional card, right? About like part of what's going on is these like more maybe like tangible learning, right? Like you might be learning, like needing to learn some tangible, practical things in combination with like just allowing yourself to kind of, you know, take off, like, and be really flexible around that. The willow tree is very flexible. So being, you know, developing this very flexible, multidimensional mind and attitude, and the ability to kind of go with that without completely losing, you know, yourself up in this hot air balloon and never, you know, not knowing how to get back down, or alternatively without, you know, just like being totally stuck on one like ideology about how to do things and not really like exploring either. So I hope that makes sense. Kind of interesting. It doesn't have a strong, I'm not feeling a lot of strong love energies on the overall energy for the week. Let's see what the energy oracle has got to say. Just feels like a lot of like personal growth, personal self-mastery, and like this, the family healing, work expansion. What do we need to know in our highest good to help clarify these energies? That's funny. And as I did that, I haven't even started pulling cards yet, but Door to Romance fell out right. But I'm going to put it back in because it was like, I'm still pre-shuffling. So what do we need to know? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? What does the group need to know in their highest good? What do they need to know in their highest good? What do they need to know in their highest good? And what else? What else? Okay. So we've got Contract reversed with Magician in the Mirror reversed, combined with Angel of Balance. So, and then the underside of the deck is Rest and Rejuvenation. So it could be that like people have been taking more of a needed period of rest, and they're still kind of feeling in that. But like what's really being called is to like step back from any sort of attachments that are like keeping you from stepping into your power and like fulfilling a bigger destiny. And like really being in the balance that's needed in order to be able to harness all that power to live a big destiny. So like I see that's how I see it. I see it as like some sort of contract needs to be like let go of or cut, severed in order to like unleash the power of this magician energy so that you can like really manifest. And so, you know, I'm not sure if that resonates with anyone. Diane, oh, hey Julie, thanks for joining again. Diane at one point said on the money. Yeah, okay, good. I feel like there's like another energy oracle in here, one or two more. What else do you need to know? What else do you need to know? What else do you need to know? Okay, good. So what that's going to kind of lead to, which is really positive, is that this decision is going to be made, right? Like that whatever, and again, I feel it has to do something to do with like letting go of this tie. Contract doesn't necessarily mean having to mean like a legal contract, or it can be, but it can also be like a job or relationship, just any like anywhere where you feel like you have sort of a tie or a karmic tie, soul contract, anything like that. But it's whatever that is getting cut. You're making a decision, and that's leading towards the sun. It's leading towards a new beginning, new opportunities. Like, you know, really, you've got the paintbrushes in this card, the music in this card, and it brings me back to this overall energy. It's like what we're leading towards is these new creations that are going to bring in joy, fulfillment, abundance. This is good. It's really good. And the underside of the deck there again was happy family, which leads me back again to the beginning of the reading with Archangel Raphael and this family healing that is coming in through, I think through, you know, this new beginning and having, you know, feeling some confidence around it because you're having some level of like starting to see some success around it. That in of itself is healing, but this other, you know, inner child healing and family healing is going to help with that as well. Okay, cool. What's next? Let's pull some Rider-Waite. You and see what they want to divulge about any advice, some additional advice. Okay. Some people are letting go of partners. Yeah. Yeah, there's a big push to let go of people right now. Let go of anyone with any narcissistic tendencies, anyone who wasn't really being fully committed. Anyone where if they're being manipulative, just like anything that's like not healthy, masculine, that's kind of inhibiting that sort of rise of the divine masculine energy is really getting cut out. And it can be a little bit painful, but it's gonna like create the space to let in more healthy things in general. So what do I need to know in our highest good? What do we need to know in our highest good? What does the group need to know in their highest good? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? What do they need to know in their highest good? What do they need to know in their highest good? Okay, and what else? And what else? And what else? Okay, so the first card is Knight of Pentacles upright, followed by the Seven of Pentacles reversed, followed by the Two of Wands, followed by the Four of Wands reversed. So, yeah, I feel like, and then when it came out, this Knight of Pentacles was kind of pointing at the Sun card, right? And so something about, I feel like there's some sort of a tie between like this offer of this sun, this beginning, and like some sort of other person. But it could also just be like you like stepping into your own divine masculine and allowing that to lead you into the sun and your own new beginning. Or, you know, like a little bit of both. Sometimes when we make those actions for ourselves, it helps, you know, call in the assistance of other people to help us do it. We support ourselves and then we draw in more support from others. So the next card, you know, I just kind of look at it with the vision. Like I feel like time to stop waiting, like time to stop kind of like waiting and like actually like really kind of move forward and do it. There's been so like, you know, yeah, there's a lot of healing and clearing and purging and stuff still going on, but part of moving forward and having success really requires kind of like letting go. I feel like there's like resistance to letting go of waiting, you know, or it's just like it's kind of just time to let go of like waiting, and like look into the future with like a more clear vision so that it can manifest. And you know, with the Four of Wands reversed, I'm feeling like, you know, like I think it's just about this whole thing about it's not quite time to take the journey yet. But at the same time, I still feel like it's picking up on this like this energy of there might be, you know, some person coming in, but it just not doesn't feel totally solid yet. It's like not quite time for that journey yet. So I'm kind of like, and we did have that door to romance kind of fall out, but it didn't, you know, wasn't part of the main reading. So there's some sort of like something there, but it's not them like the overall energy of the week, which it's just kind of something that might pop in that might surprise you, that you're unaware of. So what else? I think I'm pulling a native spirit. You know, there's been so much enlightenment going on, so much purifying. Like that really, if you're feeling it, like this is a time of like really understanding yourself as a divine being. And through, like we've been clearing out our DNA, we've been rewriting code into like God code, getting rid of all these old timelines, all of these hooks that were like keeping us stuck into like lower vibrations. And it's just it's definitely a time to like really kind of realize our value as children of God, as like, you know, as being fully capable of living, you know, as like a Buddha in our own right, in our own way, in our lives. And it's exciting to see how that's gonna like, you know, continue to unfold and take root in people's lives. All right, Vision Quest with this, with the rocks. Yeah, it just kind of brings me back to this whole thing about like the making of vision. And but that, you know, it also makes me think of this whole thing about like up in the air, you know, like something about like allowing for this multidimensionality like to come through. Like a vision quest is something where you, it's very like a shamanistic journey where you're connecting with other worlds and other realms, and it's like you're kind of, it's very kind of becomes a bit holographic as opposed to like a normal concrete understanding of reality. And something about needing to like allow for having those multidimensional experiences to help you to kind of get more clarity in your bigger vision. I think that's pretty exciting. And that's why, like, you know, it's like, it's just too early to be making like some bigger decisions, I think, about like where you want to like live right now, like if it's a big move or you're moving far away, or it's just because just there's like things that you need to know and understand that are like outside of your normal everyday perception that are available to you now in this current portal needs now. And then throughout February, there's like a lot of like direct connections to God and to like really amazing insight and wisdom that's going to help us form these bigger, longer vision that's not going to be around forever. So we have to reach for it. And that's going to really help with like really developing this really bigger, broader, exciting vision of how you're going to help humanity ultimately. So, and that's why, like, it's not, it's just like, there's some things I think are just being a little bit, it's not that they're not there in terms of like love. It's just that it can't come in a way that's going to maybe like deter or distract, but maybe just enough that you have a sense of like who your person is and who really cares for you and who wants to support you ultimately. So what else? Let's see if there's another Lemurian card that wants to come through. When I looked up at the clock, it was 21:22. So it's not like a typical master number, but there was kind of the twos and the ones are really important to the Trinity energy in general. So a lot of that. That's why there's a lot of 2-1-2s and 2-2-2s and stuff and all that in February. So there's like a lot of Trinity energies coming through that are really powerful manifestor energies. So what does the group need to know? Ooh, amazing. I love this one. Divine Blueprint. So what you can do if you would like to benefit fully from the energies of this card is after this video is over, you can come back and pause the video at this point. I'll cover my face right here so you have a shot. Perfect. And then when you're meditating on the energies, like ask to kind of like integrate your divine blueprint with the assistance of the energies of the card. And it's going to really like help you to see yourself in these codes from that pure place. Source, it says source self-embodiment, inspiration, you are ready. So like it's just really meaning that like I was saying about this whole thing about like downloading God codes and like becoming this pure divine beings. This is exactly what I meant by that. It's just time to be downloading your divine blueprint. I've been doing a lot of this. So it's nice to see that you guys are going to be able to access this energy as well. And so definitely do take the time to really ask for your divine blueprint to come in. When you're eating your food, it's also really great to ask for your food to be returned to its divine blueprint. You can pray on your water and ask the water to be returned to its divine blueprint before you drink it. I mean, you could take this as far as you want to go, all for the sake of assisting you to integrate your own divine blueprint. And it might seem a little like neurotic or excessive, but it's actually really, really helpful. Especially when you're trying to clear out, like I said, a lot of this like bottom of the barrel old stuff. It can be really hard to get to some of these deeper shadows in some cases. So that's awesome. So what else? Well, let's go with Archangel Gabriel card first. And then let's see what else. What's the group need to know in the highest order? Nice. Mother Mary. The Blessed Mother is helping you with your divine life purpose. So I think that's great. I think that yeah, the underside of the deck says media. It says here you can reach more people by working with video, audio, print, and online media. So I feel like just, follow your guidance, follow the messages that you're hearing from all of these meditations. Just ask, you can specifically ask for any guide that you feel particularly called to, that you feel is nurturing. And I think that's going to really help a lot to get that inspiration. And we'll do a Lightworker Oracle. Yeah, there's just been a lot of signs that there's like help with getting purpose starting, getting life purpose started, which is really in terms of like work and pursuing a calling. So that's really, really nice to see. So okay, what else? That's way too many cards. Okay, what else? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. This is the same card I picked today. The Eternal Now. So this is just, all about stepping into the sacredness of the present moment. Can you do it? Can you fully enjoy it? Because we are not creating our lives by holding on to the memories of the past. And we're not by, being caught up in the future. And it's, I really am making the point to really catch myself when I'm thinking about things from the past and getting caught up in old emotions. And sometimes it can be really hard. To get over drama, to get over the idea of drama. We love stories. Humans feed off stories. They love stories. I mean, even to do work online in media, it's you share a story and people gravitate towards a story, which is essentially something that doesn't exist anymore and is of the past, it's kind of like a paradox there. And yet at the same time, it's just being stressed right now that what's really going to help, I think, with these multidimensional energies and to really access that multidimensionality and achieve this greater degree of healing and vision. We need to be able to connect with that present moment. So, because the stories right now are not, those old stories are not helping. It's kind of holding people back from accessing that greater expansiveness of love and divinity that wants to reach you because of those dramas, because of the stories that we as humans tend to cling to and have for thousands and thousands of years. So, and I just thought of Shakespeare, just think of Shakespeare. So, I think that, gosh, it feels so short, and yet I know I started this beforehand. Let's see what the gatekeepers have to say. What gatekeepers have to say. Yeah. Oh, this is so interesting, actually. Coming into my power, I step into my power boldly and confidently. So the reason why this I find so, and then underneath the deck, actually, we have opening to love. My heart is open. So again, I feel like that's what this is all about, is doing that self-love and inner healing that's going to make us open to receiving, truly open to kind of receiving that offer from that right person that's going to help support the new beginning. But I actually had this exact vision, in one of my meditations when I went into this chamber, and it was a woman stepping into that light, and in a darkened room. So it was very symbolic of being in a situation of having been fully disempowered and being in this room that was all black. And then this ray came in through this higher window to kind of take her out of, or it was actually me, and take me out of that and into splicing out all of these old timelines in order to get me to where I need to be. And so I would, I would say that's a very positive message for what's coming for other people in the group this week, in terms of like stepping out of all of those old situations that you maybe feel have disempowered you in some way or another. Let's see here. So, hey Maggie, hey Audrey, thanks for joining. So, yeah, it's exciting. Let's pull Keeper of the Light. Let's pull Keeper of the Light. What do we have here? The Keeper of the Light wants to support the group this week. The Keeper of the Light wants to support you this week. Ah, beautiful. Master Jesus, forgiveness. And then it says, you are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. So, yeah, I mean, definitely forgiveness is part of this. I've been trying to do at least a little bit of the Ho'oponopono every day with one or two different people in my life. For instance, I dreamt about somebody last night who was somebody I dated when I was like 18 years old. And that person like really broke my heart. They were like a lot older than me at the time. I mean, and I was shocked that this dream came up because like I haven't thought about this person in a while. But it's not the first time someone from my past, an old like partner, like boyfriend type thing, has come up, and where I saw them again, and it was like a dating scenario. And so I did like Ho'oponopono on it. So I guess like don't hope, like there's all sorts of things that might come up that might seem irrelevant, but it's important like to pay attention to them and to bring forgiveness to like anything from your past that's coming up that wants to be looked at, even if like you feel like it's like dead and gone from the long ago past. So because it's just all part of like rewriting your God code and rewriting like your purity so that you can come into your Christ consciousness. So, which is, you know, pretty beautiful. And it's always nice to have Jesus show up because his energy is so healing and it gives so much hope and inspiration. So I think that's awesome. Hey Shanti, thanks for joining. I'm going to end it there. I'm not sure how this reading went so fast. Maybe it'll give me inspiration to do another one sometime soon. But it feels like complete. So I'm going to send you guys a lot of love. I do want to let you know before I go that I am taking clients right now to doing Akashic Records readings, as well as flower essence therapy sessions. And I'm having really, really great results with both of those with my clients. The Akashic Records readings are really, really cool because you can tap into finding out more about your past life influences on your current situation. And you can actually draw upon past life energies that like can bring you old skills and talents and like old vocations that you used to have in the past, and like bring those into today. Those energies can support you now in what you're trying to do now with your career and your work. So very, very cool, the kind of things that have been coming up for that. If you're having issues like with family, resolving family things, there's like you can look into like why that might be from past lives, and through that, that's gonna like help bring in the energies you need to help resolve those now as well. So you see results like kind of pretty fast with the Akashic Records readings. The flower essences is like a slow, deep healing modality but when you heal with flower essences, the healing you get with it is permanent, because you're working with it slowly, like every single day. And even though it's kind of like the opposite of like very intensive, deep plant medicine experience in that respect, is that like you're just, well, they're both really powerful, but it's just, and I don't know actually if like some of those other plant medicines are permanent. But I know with the flower essences, like when you're healing, you actually heal on a physical level permanently. So it's just like if you're having any sort of issues with any sort of pain or any sort of menstrual issues or anything like that, or if you just want to like get really to the core of like any area of your healing, it's so helpful. Like, and it really helps to bring into your field, manifest very quickly what needs to be looked at. So for instance, like if you want to increase devotion to spirit so that you can get more of this higher self guidance, there's like a plant you can take that will make that like really easy to do that. And if you want to like open your heart and feel like and see your past traumas and feel them really quickly and easily, rather than like really fight to like try and dig that up, because usually our natural tendency is to want to resist pulling up trauma, like it'll start to happen more quickly with the help of the flower essences. So I just want to put that out there that I am taking sessions if anybody is interested, and just reach out to me if you want to learn more about that. So I'm sending you lots of love and have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon.